Rano se UTV so ena wo hwe medin e de ekua asante ba mensa se ne de bia ye no eya desua enti ene ho ha se ne be betse Mmara ase na yetumi e de aboye Mmara ene ye nkomo hwetwe no efa Chieftaincy ho ene Mmara bia etaye twi ho nkomo ena ye ba betwetwe na ansa ne de dwumede no ebeto aso no ye nkokoje nkrato ye ba na ye de ahyehye so pepepe ye nkomra. Let's say UTV me that say with video no edaso edaha to send am kind and na ya desua na na say nkomo twetwe no efa Chieftaincy any law sa na say Mmara etai the Chieftaincy institution no echi any to be kra wo mo ewo ye maimu eha eno ho adesua ne nkomo ene ye ba betwetwe no na mene lawyer Oxford osei bonsu ena ewo mi studio ha ene ye ba besua ade akwaba minia.
Yeah, media.
Me da se de bia me frɛ wa na waba. Ene ho aye fe yie.
That's a part.
Lawyer, and me say ye adesua no e for the Chieftaincy institution. Na answer ne be sa no betumi ama ye history bi e bia a tie the institution no echi e wo Ghana ha na afi ye de ato aso.
Yo na me da se de kan ye betia ahefo nyina na yaka say where Ghana ha, you can compare ourselves to other places, but Ghana ha nkasa no. Ye fapem ejina tradition and a culture. And a tradition culture, the organization or the structure of the tradition culture ni nyina ejina chieftaincy so. Enti ukobe bia o Ghana ha. Omo be chiro kwan omo fa so bae. Enti omo wo ho ebi almost ye free hana na yeba ani ebedu kromu ha ani ebo sesen wo ha ani etna ha ani efa ho nsase nyina even if you go to the law of land Netherlands law who say the meaning of the highest land no title no when they conquered the place or they discovered the place and on better now enti wo hwe semefa enkranfo ahini oko anramamom wo ahini ana oba santimamom wo ahini enti se akwasi broni ba no ne yo hodada in fact se ufa pitisa asantifo ahini a we beka say resemble UK for omo ahini ne pepepe enuntu na bia na enoma mienu omo ni bire so omo ne ye kono mo mia ehefom and no more intimacy no be admire situation. Uko asantememu a ye wo paramounts in more than 70. And obi edi ni ntwi. It is a uko so fa mampo a hini no edimu.
On their own.
On your own. Now fa mampo a hini nkwa wonka anwie. What I say? Ansana asanteman no nso no kra no. Ya kire mu kwan amofa so a omobeka bomu enti a confederation asantefo ahini paramounts no Americans more than 70 no mu nyina kom ho abom omoka omo ho bomu se omo ye asa enti fo no mabetra ho
ene ye asantefo
enti asa ye okun ye be kunti it is all here the history obi ye bo a
Akwai bibi says United States
United States
United States of different krom na wo mo aka mo okay nti na say you can't sense my mood
sanity o hwe asante ahini ade ama yenka no kre na we can speak to the law, speak to the history the nti bi abetima kasa asante ahini mood no eye enipa no mo akota
confederation no
and they had me find a symbol of unity. And the constitution, our highest supreme law of our land, you know, it constitutes us as a state. So it constitutes all the elements, all the people for governance and all those things. For economic and social liberation. The same way in whatever they see as a symbol, no, and no, so they come to the element or symbol that constitutes to say asantemai no golden stool That's why I'm saying that chieftaincy is about tradition, about culture, about heritage. Say, Oba Chieftaincy Act, and the Constitution, now you go into details. They will tell you, why do we even have the National House of Chief? Why are they in existence?
Now, what I want to ask you is, okay, to say chieftaincy, what culture, say, saying the culture anyway, today, should share their constitution.
Very good. I don't know, a very good question. Okay. Actually, I say, I got some kind of chieftaincy, I got some money by not to order that. Ain't see, oh, here, time work was only by no, or by obesity, or so you for. Or buy so baby and no I best say I was only buy no or share no scan or fee a possible buy into now or take
Cape Coast. Yeah, that's it.
What I say, the Horana or the Orocana or to me couldn't know that I'm home. Now me as a way me there to me or Obinia good and all the Abano Abato. Now I know the Danica Cranka class. So say na asante man no wono no wa gintini dadada se makacho time o mo form o confederation nti o mo no no mo hoden ti no mo ku because they form their kingdom on war ti yesi ye konkon nti se ai bron fo kum obiri ye bo a na fe ai o se tutu akokum.
But at least it's a name him say. I think that's how kingdoms now take you over to show your friends say we too many you know you must fight and conquer. It's not say obia could be. Yenti answer na kwesi body ba na ye kokoyan wada. Ye kokoyan to take you over.
Yes. Enti okay akwasi broni kwan ofa so a obey kambo mu. Oba oni ai Cape for na say epoano for no ebomu. That's when they form the bond of 1844. The essence of the bond of 1844 no, was to be strong enough to fight with Asante. Because now Asante for no moko. And they wanted to trade with Asantes that they were not able. They never had the privilege to trade with Asantes. And the to the bond, the tenant of the agreement was protectable. And the protection is if I'm protecting Asante for there. Overcome my own calm. What I say, but that Asante Kingdom was already there. And Empo, 1874, Ebra, your friend say, Asante, I'm a Funakasano. No money Asante Fona Kwa. Ever a time we were Mukra and Foni to me could do almost. But they prepared for 1874 war. Your friend Omatunudin corrupted a Sagranti war. And that war was to wipe Asante Kingdom. Because still the kingdom was there. And the kingdom was a governance structure. And I'm going to say, okay, Yuka, the queen is there. So the queen is the head of the state. And then the ceremonial or the diplomatic, another democratic governance, you know, the authority prime minister. Because they believe in the monarchy kind of rule. And they respected that. And no buy. There's a point in time, even before the independence of Ghana, 1957. Now, a year Asante for the second part of it, Nanka, Omuba Bium. 1901 say almost aba no money Asante for abekun and na ye that time no say adwuma prepare the first ese dabi mo de mo pa bia no ye be ya mamo ye ne mo mpre e ho ne ma omode prepare the first call Seychelles what I say and ma ye de no call the essence of it ni na say ni nyina ye ways and means and no person mo de suppress the kingdom the chieftains how solid the chieftains no etie and you hear the solid ina no mukra no emutimi kun ya eko Côte d'Ivoire ko Togo ko Northern region ko bi ko Rara in Oti region ni nyina omo ho enti chieftains the institution you can't do away with it. Then again, at a point in time, independence. And I say rule, if you want to call it, before we are crying beginning independence. But then all the resources, the Makato say, Treko, Rara, Echo B, Techiman, Echo a northern region, Echo Cote d'Ivoire. So what did the mechanism? Until they had the resources. In fact, most of the monumental projects in Ukrum that kingdom resources normally. Into also got independence, you have to feed yourself. Where they were. And Kwame Nkrumah was a visionary person. Take it or like him or not, no.
He was, yeah.
And he knew how to negotiate and lobby. Oh, you know when him acquire a faso, a casa, near Celeste, near the quadrant. So, and they needed that bigger jurisdiction for the independence. Actually, they lobby for that Santifor to come and be part of it. And then Santifor from the northern regions to be part of it. Answer. And you know, say, and then the rule of the British Nankasa, a common law. That is the basis of the law. Now, common law simply means that the law is not written. Until we have civil law, which is codified law, so it is written law. But common law is not written. Until it is the conversation, the case, arbitration, dispute resolution. Any the economy money enti ukwahana sana enti uba Ghana ha na so typical state is Asante Kingdom na almost was ruled by customary law. And customary law is also not written. Enti you see the how similar it was to them.
Yes.
Enti that is what it is. Enti and so when there was a need for independence now they needed to recognize it. In fact, now omu monarchy and omu independent state. Enti ukohwa in negotiation, you have to have win-win. And one of the win for Tisa Asante, so the head will not collapse your institution. What the chieftaincy institution, the promise to them was not to collapse it. And how would you even solidify it? To give you the headquarters at your territory, your backyard. That's why we have the National House of Chiefs. Okay. In two Menshia, a higher regional House of Chiefs and a higher National House of Chiefs. So what I say. That was the negotiation. Say no, so that you feel it. And then, motiha ebi can yen kan okro no because ebi so as I say na ebi ayo tumfo say tutu woye kese dabi tatete ni nyina na that time no ye prepare independence no na ye prempe the second so that say ani me nya independence no ahono nso no omuma ani hu say wo no eba hin is ahinsemo a ye nto so aba because now you're overlord into hono say ka say onu na ehwe ahini ni nyina so because they had solid, if you want it, common law, solid customary law, and solid institutional or more operating with. Until you mention you as overlord, and any other person will come. So the 1957 Constitution recognized the chieftaincy. We are using it as an example because it's easy to use. But then equally, you have other aflau, you have a Gun State. But it's about why if they came together for a common purpose. A grandma and crime. Ufi hakwaha or hinba kuyenko, Ukoha or hinyenko, Uka.
But I don't know never sir.
Indeed, yes, your friends will be here some. For here open now, Nas will be a tunibafua. We can learn. And it was just recently, and our flower, they were doing one festival, and there's no need to criticize Asante for. In fact, I did a friend na yes woka. Entino, mume yensua omo. And I think that is the essence of we discussing chieftaincy matters now, because we might see the need to have a dual participation or full participation of chieftaincies or chiefs in our modern body politics, because the constitution bar them. Because it is like if we allow them to do what we do, it is like two bigger institutions coming together. Because they have their own yes, they have their own politics already. So this politics doesn't concern them. Was a reason why the constitution said I am for politics. Not because Omunians said their politics. They do their own politics there. But then there was a need for that. 1957 constitution mentioned it. 1969 constitution, 1979 constitution, then 1992 constitution. Still make sure that they give that recognition to the
people. Answer na yebeko recognition ne so no. Yen kwaje nkato na yeba na ye mrano se sen na wo hwe ewo UTV so yen common na efa Chieftaincy institution ewo Ghana ha wo mo fere bae nti yen kwaje nkato yeba na yato aso. Saying what UTV so now Guswa will she say Yakwajen Kato Ebene ye kono na ye ka chieftaincy how ya womu ebewie o constitution muti say be court lawyer hona watu aswamaye lawyer na answer na beto na say okay waka wa me ye hu abakosem no ne ye ya chese na chese chieftaincy institution kwa na honom dada answer na say abrofo no eheba na say me pese wonchiremu ne ye hu sene constitution no etai chieftaincy institution nechi emane to me enya ni independence or dene ho and say the reason why maybe say so wo back constitution ya na ye ka say anything that is in contravention with article 1 and 2 no ya na e wo say e bo edisi nchen kakra me pese ye nti asese wo fa chieftaincy institution na de si ho na wo fa constitution so na wo de si ho no ma chieftaincy no institution no wo mo ewo fa ho die bi womo de womo ana say womo ene constitution no clash ehihia you
see I say one what wo baby na bia obi zo be waro na one o classmate bi kwa na mo de modi entwe sa na nka o hwe se David ebe
yi
no bia ba be da wo say o me de me o say meto ka we ama meto je wa agun ama na fi wo ware o pa do akotena fie na wo hwe ebo a wo hwe oni nyina no enye no na wo hu a eya na wo ho pa me sure me na etirim na no say utumfo say tututiri the second team but me sure say bia wo hwe a de na utumfo adema pempe the second no ebia yanu yo na wonu no say ke amfa ye ho anko hyase kra Customary nke ede ho nga Eswatini ba ye ono no odi ne hu ni man ye minister so ni ba guess ngete
ya be hwe mu comment yase
guess ngete no mu di governor we say me minister for this me minister for this and I'm hey omo abusafo ana mo hwe kuro kakraka nti bi anka yakwa yesa ke chieftaincy
and what so kama
so sanity nti the point is that we are running a democracy and the democracy has its own forms and elements so you cannot entirely mix it with it so now the reason is that the constitution as it were abeye the supreme law. And you can't put anything on the constitution to be
either
higher
above
than
it or by it.
Yes, by it. And you so let me say the recognition, Ankasa, we will mention it. But then say I recognize any institution, the power of your institution also can and I'm about in your culture, custom, tradition, that form the customary law. The way and life of the people, selected group of people. And it's like a idea Bianca, yes, she has see a crime and a few hodia. Anka Constitution, 1992 Constitution, Anka one more so. Yen say, Upese bibi dimu, Mmara. Bruni Nasa Constitution, say the sources of the law. Adia, Mmara, Utimi Dinaso, EDGBB, in any form. What I say, baby, I'm free. It's in my court, now may come ask them. Now call to Busam say, Minina say. That is what we meant by the source. And to call Article 11, cross 1, or tighten the laws of Ghana. Into the vessel become who says, oh, Kono here and idea. Man, you're rough. Now, no, a year or for ye di or hima dotty ye, cohe display. And no more costume now. We mistake near the BBA because it is well recognized in the Constitution. And to say, and you go to school, now you're a hierarchy of law, but it's not a hierarchy of law. It is sources of law. Just mean it, just say as it says, sources. So because even if I'm coming to court, I can come with a statute or come under the customary law or the common law. It's I say a hierarchy into just say constitution na way enactment it also there be. They only mention, and it is not even mentioned under here, under this article. Yes, article. It is mentioned elsewhere. And it says the constitution here the supreme. And you have no can say constitution here supreme. How we only mention the sources of it. To first source or say the constitution itself. Second source or say enactment made by or under the authority of the parliament established by this constitution. Because the constitution we know. Now I'm not for the no more a legislative assembly. And the be constituent no or more can say part of it no so irrespective. The be parliament enacting laws and it will be in correspondence to the constitution, not above it. I know can orders, rules, regulation. We no be the existing law. To the existing law were laws, ordinance.
A common law na any.
No, but the existing law because matrimonial causes act was existing. 1888. It was there before the constitution. It is recognizing it because yes, I worry and son 1992. Mom worry no boy. What I say, but we are recognizing all those laws. I don't say. Again, because that time, look around, there were another Chieftaincy law, Chieftaincy Act. I know say, and the common law, and the common law, no matter a common law, no, or better common law, no. So, the common law of Ghana shall comprises the rules of law, generally known as common law, and that rules generally known as the doctrine of equity, rules of customary law, including those determined by the Superior Court of Adjudication. So what I said. Then tell you what I say. For the purpose of this article, when we say customary law, it means the rules of law which by custom are applicable to particular communities in Ghana. What I say. And to call and remember the way they do their things, no, or more customs. That are embodied, settled, crystallized into law, no, a more customary law. And it is an affront to denigrate or be custom. What is it? To me, Banam has a custom, no matter to tour. It's against the constitution. So I can say, hey, oh boy. Only say no one ever can be custom.
But more backing and just say. Okay.
This is the constitution. You make kind of constitution. One kind of ruling. It is wrong. It's overturning the constitution. In fact, this is an action that we can go to court on. Say, this is the custom. And you look at it. What's saying? Oh, here, Aina. Oh, here. Clause 2 now. Okay, common law. No matter the common law, because the common law was not written. It is the law that are common to the people. Wow. Yes, the only way they write the law is when they document the cases that come before the chancery, and I say privy council, and I to say high court. You know, if I say high court will be a court of records. And Oba, Okahano mention say the common law of Ghana no says it comprises of the law no our common law itself, the Bruni common law. And I say doctrine of equity because Bruni common law no I say the Bruni equity. And Oba class will not make sure they are not sir. And I feel Oba the rules of customary law no, including those determined by the Superior Court of Adjudication. Our superior courts in Ghana are a high court, court of appeal, and Supreme Court. Do you know why he's saying that? Because matters that will go there before them, that come with evidence in form of custom, no, when they crystallize it in the case, it's not a law.
Oh, right.
And you know, say, if I take all the cases, and then the sector of the law, I'll bring you more cases, landlord and chieftaincy cases. Bam. Until me fa, na ye kase, asante hini, say, and na asante for omuti, good news too. I have no right to say anything otherwise, because that is what he's saying. I know real crown. I know because say enya krama courtwa. It is also for the purposes, or say for purposes of this article, no, the customary law also means that the rules of law, which by custom are applicable to particular communities in Ghana. It will be an idea. Because Obiane there. It's him, she do this here, Mr. Jacket, where I'm got your better form. Yeah, dear, no. Obeko no hen to form, baby. Some dear, no. Ain't Oba, and you
must recognize and respect it.
Respect it. And is it not Nanama and Anamo? Yes. Now or ye the Nanaba. No, ye in feedback or you know.
Yes.
And no Kasenka, it would have been appropriate, say Nanka, your historian be ye pay no walk, when ye wait, they say. So, there were signs, there were things when you see, but also 2-4. For instance, 2-4, Emma Transimo, Hinibianca said, Nameka say, Tiafera Meba. So 2-4 trans, and that's all your Hinibay, no car say, I'll be cafe. Naturally, a busa didn't tell it, Mamba. I are him for me, Numi, and Sapet, and 2-4 trans here, it will be your moment. That is a custom. Or here now, 2-4. Etna so timi ba eye dwaben hene enti eye afra a otumfo di swan ye friend pomponsu no otumfo transi wi a na ono ye di pomponsu akofre dwaben hene se unwa pani atranse na kwan adam enti dwaben hene ni aketwa eye koforidua ni dwaben hene tie ka asante territory ni kesi mu a no. It's no. Ghana so no ni nua no aba ni nua pani dwaben ye wa asante no no ma ba betena edwam pomponsuo ansana otumfo achempem hene enso aba. These 3 people,
this is beautiful.
These people will be a momensa openity ba upeko menhia na obia ya kwa yempa enyina ya fra tuntum say dot ye tuntum na ahemfu mienu pede fufuo se nwira ana show
person be say no cry
sa what I say eye tepa bosom tepa bosom brebia so tunfo okoko a na wakogye akobusam na tepa bosom no baanie aka kire ne se wokwa obedi nkunim wokwa oni nkunim de obaka kire se obedi nkunim bi okwa odi nkunim na so be hye won so mehira wo enti so be transia se ya obi abewu se wo na mama ya kese no unku a de obe frantma fufu enti brebia obehu se e say ahemfo ne ban se otumfo aba no hu se tepahene front mafufuo pa no won se otumfo oba sa adwumadi ase other than that tepahene be front ma bia sa na agona mampo agona eno so ho na otumfo say to the first ebra ne yonko konfo anoche ebe eyi nsankyerene a oyema ne nyina no obo no sese o ho se won so tena enti eno so ye recognition ema agona eye konfo anoche enti na agwa hene so badwamu a ofre tufu
ntomafufu okay sene ebe ya nya se ene ye show ni na ye asante history no yes I'm bra ever say law no say me pese me hu say ye customary law no any modern Ghanaian society no how do the two marry
and you know ana maka ne say omo the constitution recognize it it's a law and so anything that it is where
she say say na ye pene ekoi first na kam say nema bi ho a wo ya yetumi twa wesu yetumi banishe untumi nko ohene nim a wonye say but ene wo hwe sane a ye pene koyi a ye say ye friends bibi de technology and modernity more civilization say kwa ye obi friend the work agenda ni nyina aba how do we juxtapose it to your customary law ayewo on say na ye ati say na wo kasa em say me nua pani na aba ebe kasa ya no say ke say ye hia historian ni na em say santi ase ni ho ana say no akot say freedom of speech no obia sorry a obie na no a na waka nia ope enti pese me hu say no ye customary law no say na ye pene no edeko ene say yen first civilization and modernity and also so ehimfa na wo mu mienu ebetumi ehia na wo mu amare nanka aye fefefe na chese na nka constitution yake amano tumi eyi anasa amayate ase say ampampa constitution no eta ye customary laws no echi
yes we fi ukromu ehene abanya obeyira obedwom
they say yenko ye kromu nti
you see that is the excellence into modern to nche because you see the essence of your existence is your culture and tradition inti nyame som kra na tradition inti na osofo bia ono no obonwom a ono de osi wo osofo obonwom so no obedwom no fokra ono fa ho it's not possible who so ye Kristo soma ye Kristo som
untime fa
and that is it inti you ejina meka say ukuro hene inti abanya che say the custom of your chief no your chieftains no say unimu a you can be placed and we cannot put something or nothing we cannot democracy ni modern no free nearby civilization go and check till we need to teach our children
say yenie
we catch minim obi anka da baka kane pa na krachi ni fine mind me ba me nka bofu twi kwa na ma kire musa yo ka say yare ni o ya ne busa na yo fikumase ana afi no mu se o mu kwa no mu mistake o mu ye ana o ka di kasa o kumase ni ana afi o mu se o mu obi so mu pobi ama na che obi kasa ama no what I say you need your tree. And then there's no way you can better express yourself in any language
than your own.
Indeed, Bibian Fitias, same. Oko China, I'm on as one much before. Miss Italy, my first time in Italy. What can before? No, they or what kind of castle more? What's the what can no aside at the actual now we have so best Russia.
You get frustrated.
What the before day? 5 years before Mukasa Nkwa. This app binary baby. But they learn it for the economics when they need to use it. But the Kassan, because one take Kassan as here, won't see the air can I say because be beer when I say che. Ni dinu or the say boni di say a crobia a history and a common head. And see more than it, I think say it is a hard time you be back to it. And then no matter how you do, the people respect their chiefs and queen mothers more than the president elected. Take it or leave it. Ah, no, Sebi. Otum 40 way yeah. One floor biao. Na UN for abano macho letter. Na Prince Charles atrobibi. Obia person ni dimbam na oba ho so a. Omuma wo nyese wa ba wa yeso welcome. Ye piepie omo no mo girem. Oba ye pian wa mane ne so oba. You see, the point is that the point I'm making here is that we have to go back to the chieftaincy, not constitution, the institution as it is. Then again, how useful it was, say, a year Kwame Nkrumah say, you see, National House of Chiefs of Kumasi, because that is where we promote culture, tradition, and tourism. And to me, going forward in Ukraine, we have a typical resources emanator. Now, the headquarters are Kosiho. I don't need to found Western region. Any Western region. Now, some headquarters were a Tema. Now, me free Western region, Faka, I'm not Tema, not the Amebedicra Asa. Nobody know limit to one was me and was me. They don't relate. This is the beginning of development, economic development. In the Aira Quine.
Ye pepper ho, ye share say, ye came, make I say, you Susana come morning, so we who say, say, I him for 4 no to me, womu, to me a buan, sem, womo, a day, say, rules being in your cry to form, ye. But and then yen town who say, assemblyman, and I say, the politician be not say, crime say, ye elections, ye, ye fan saying, cry has a say, come ye fee pa, not ye, ye, chance, say, ye be regional minister. I'm an abba and sana ye to me a started SCC Kuma. Make Uncle Sisu say, ye chiefs no say, what shall your local governance? And when I say local governance, environments need that account. What role are they playing in it? Are they still relevant when it comes to our local governance?
Good. You see, Obino over Kuna, what a children say, and
then a bebu pan out the bio. Aye.
And see, the point is that they do play a role. But, okay, say there, yes, no. Constitutional bomb, as I'm Sabrani, but Uber Act no, they regulated the proper chief institution affairs, chieftaincy institution affairs now. It will explain what they are supposed to do. And to me say, but all the same, because at the end of the day, you be mobilize the resources. And now, the chapter 6 of the Constitution, I show what the government is supposed to do. No one taxes, no one find development, no one find say, and umpokrano, essence taxes no, scarce, and you be bringing a revenue agent, no, may expect to say, who needs no a bit my amount. But we can have a way of looking at those provisions and amending either the Chieftaincy Act or something like that. That, in a way, the chiefs can mobilize taxes. Now, the time of Otumvo, no matter what year, just because of how powerful that institution is. Today, I can't say, prior way back who are a boom, sir, and say because even you come to land matters, and it could be a show, say, assassin, either for the family or for the info. And Jarena maybe or Hino Mampon, Mensa say Bay or Tumfordia. But because say Omo Cambo Mu as a sentiment, Omo by practice and rule, Omo de Omusa in a quack or share or Tumfor. In the answer of a tongue as a number, it will end up there. So I say, and that's the point because, and that way it help with the development for proper planning. We need to make sure they are doing it. Otumfo Foundation Otumfuo Foundation eye normal bebre scholarship ma school for a school
and no be sure because say eye Otumfuo eye Asante for education what your show is but that's just by
no that's by the I said
because I mean him
company that's Asante and we are more so
wait a minute
I think the point is that the point we are making basically and it's every part of your community they can mobilize, they can't do much because they are limited by the constitution. The constitution.
But one na me person ka ye ka no say some limitations because we share act yeah say na working. Some limitations na ye place on our chiefs no. E man nya te say asa more importance no a breno ano asekakra.
Yeah.
Because nka first na kansa na wo be call hine kro enim no. Na te say baby abekwa akofefa no enye bibia ye ni packet so ne yetumi hu no obi aso no abo hine bi din keke no waka nia opese ka ko social media so a asefem na me feel say no asa yen heda hu omo activities omo ye asa bibie ni o say ye twen na me say politicians be ye ma ya ansa ana assembly woman regional minister MP bibe mu ansa na yen heda hu ye chiefs no wo mo ahokekan because and chief no kwa ye me bi we say me the chief ni court na na court asa yen heda hu wo mo ahokekan ni ye limitations in Mmara institution na say kakra.
Okay, so they don't have to say na obi ka say omampani abred ya adena gadam say fight no ahemfo nyimfa
sana me kwa ma adwen yam say me feel say ka ahemfo no kwa timu kwa nke bia nke be yi me de bia me say Ghana for de nke ye de nke busua pani na em say democracy no
anti omampani ye press conference no or see the measures or see one year state of emergency by measures no ye obey use soldier obey use police kakra now ko use soldier who is the commander in chief of the Ghana Armed Forces na army enti be den wa koma otumfuo se onko ye sa fight ma enti wo talk afro na okeka but the point is that in all this conversation come because a constitutional amendment mo enam ho mo ye and there's a need for us to see how we can give power again because here act no Chieftaincy act na obeka do ohene ye ana politics no politics no ankasa no how to mobilize resources of the state from the state for a common use. And our kind of constitution, Article 276, say a chief shall not take part in active party politics.
But is that what is happening? Ye who chiefs are call nebia ye politics. Na chief need to me money panels so media ye fairness asimesi and asimesi ni abodi amane so ye tie wachi ni ni ade. Isn't that what is happening?
And I'm going to say yen kano kra intimi nko enim because and first of all abia information kra ni ho abia people don't know say even is stated clearly here
anymore na ye koka ho asma den ye be wo so say de bia ye kan atfri bia ye to aba e ba out na chief bi koka any say chiefs are not supposed to engage in politics but afi bia your friends say ye to aba bia e ba out ye hu na enso so ukoka e be kwa kusen
you see there's a fine line between say the chief no beka and I work and you no I see limitation one no proper chief no can call all state parties within the region or stakeholders within the region no my meeting actually mo kwan of person in fact when he be our hand in the appointment and election of MCU, DC or regional minister. You cannot appoint regional minister. Abra wonko never. Maybe a baby na be a young fanasa. But meaning say DC MCs no. Or more appointment I have one cabu. Yantu kumha. Ana mampo hene when you baby ko kase. Ultimate ganam say wonu krum. What else? It's possible. So all those they don't have they can marshal the community members.
True.
What I say. But we are saying, say, who are there, and for any message, they in their own, can marshal the community members. God, they own the space. And the reason why you have a community and a chief is not able to support development and is not able again to combat that I'm saying because why compromise, why active politics. So that's how it is so bad for a chief to be involved in active politics. No chief will have be office or be a kakrobe jinti. Why does it? Because maybe to honor me a chief, not many politics. Uba me be more pain. Uba me kind of I mean, fine example. But he had nothing to lose. What's the member a good news and war? Yeah, cry and war. So what I say? And there has to be proper consultation. I know other chief does it. Because they can't hand out questions, they can't mobile to my kind of system. Because the point is that Asia, your infant say, are there and no more meeting, normal meeting. Now I am for a dimuno or moody idea to say the work of court. A cancer. So that's it. And the we will find a way of consolidating their effort. But the point is that the bigger cake, will always be in the pocket of the government. Now, employer, almost as some or more resources, and some. The say the more cry, the more. Come the bed, yes, somebody. And today, I mentioned the last time, say, even we can hold people accountable. And so when we institute accountability and then transparency, in fact, you can't do accountability with chiefs because the law says that a chief cannot account so far as what is as a chief. But then when I say accountability, I would abide. Say abide resources being say by her. That's what they buy. Na fan say minim say e was said enti no be there. Don't forget that buy no 24 hours say 24 hours. And here 24 hours here dey achichema in sukra afabi. And we need to be able to always hold people accountable and do follow up. Now there's a need for us. It will surprise you say constitution who they want and say what you but and some cry no untini
and some need me sure say mentini e will say sign do ba na wo be chechu mu na say me time no akwaetia me nti ye beto aso but before answer na abeko no wo kan bbcc as say wo say a chief cannot account wo emre oti akonwa ne so no na ho na pese wo kan bibi kakra na ma hwefo eti asansa na yakọ. So
the chief is a custodian of all the resources for whatever community or a chief on. And to say bia and as a tongue any BBA, he doesn't account for that. In the sense that you cannot hold your chief to court, say a year in a period of time, chief and render any account. And after the air public account committee, you don't go for it. You do for chief and continue you do sanity into there. Because the point is that I don't say there's some respect, any dignity be with that comes with being a chief. And then to say chief to say also for. And to say judge, judge is supposed to be a mini god. And now, I mean, yes, it's a pa, no one judge pa and a casa. Who judge, but I say judge, come on. And because I dear warrior, he's in the state of God to render, justice. And see, they be holy. They be now getting or getting quiet or bank of what any attention in the abba. And you go pon one and my attention no sweeby. And the other over messing itself up. The same way, chief per the customary traditional can never do wrong or can never make mistake and will hold the interest of the people. And that's why the law says that the chief doesn't account for anything as long as a chief. And of course, okay, I have to be her. Very few now been as my car form, but okay, I him for. I now be a ni so ade ana ya ne ya rensa no mo am say dudu an rensa no mo ka do mpe but wo hene wo hwe de wa wo si ye no ma say me ka ba me ka last one so go to for or set to hold na eni pe ba no ho nyina woni mo ene ensem nyina woni ensem bi efa akunya bia ho woni enti akunya na nkasa ama ne nyasa abro so enti me ka bebe ono na asem wo se akunya na mana ye beifo ende ono na ka ezi
ye go charge wo baby me da say e say e say sign the over na ye twice because I wanted us to talk about the your friend say the customary relevance of the your friend say the chieftaincy no sesia and your friend say modern day politics na ye hwe but we will bring you back Mmara no say e wo UTV so e no wa hwe me din e de ekua asante but mensa na as usual me ne lawyer Oxford or say bones minim say munim nenim ye ne ono na beto aya ono ya fa history mu ama yesua about chieftaincy na ye hu say me say wo mu dibio no constitution no eta etwe na obia me say customary laws bia na say omo customary practices culture bia no traditions bia no e was say ye holding no dear because they are your friends say backed by the Constitution of Ghana. And I'm no besi. Mmara no say e wo UTV so and wa hwe mimidin de ekua asante ba men say that's a name besi bye bye.